Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधे कृष्ण गोपी लक्ष्मण कुंद कुंद गिरिवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री नवद्वीप धाम की गंगामाई की यमुनामाई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन गाते की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंद all glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga.
Shri Guru Vandana, the lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way we can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet, Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Which one?
130. I can also.
Right, you can write.
After I worship. After.
Okay.
Jayo Kunja Bihari. Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Girivaradari, Jayo Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yamunatira Vanachari, Yamunatira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Yesterday was such an amazing day. Shyamananda Prabhu asked my wife, and my wife is for the first time here, and Shyamananda Prabhu asked, "Do you like it here?" And my wife did like this. And that will summarize yesterday's day. It was amazing. It was such an amazing day.
Such a long name also.
Madhya Lila 730. Ei matra yandra grahe kare prabhu bhiksha. Ei mata yandra grahe kare prabhu bhiksha. Ei mata yandra gare kare prabhu bhiksha. Ei mata yandra Seyache kahetare karaya e shiksha. Seyache kahetandre karaya e shiksha. Ei mata yanra grahe kare prabhu bhiksha. Seyache kahetandre karaya e shiksha. Prabhus? Sei mata yanre grahe kare prabhu bhiksha. Karaya e shiksha.
Emata yandra kare prabhu bhiksha. Seyache kahetandre karaya e shiksha.
Seyache kahetandre karaya e shiksha.
Mata yanra kare kare prabhu bhiksha.
Mata yandra
Kare prabhu bhiksha. Seyache kahetandre karaya e shiksha. Ladies? Ei mata yandre gore kare prabhu bhiksha. Seyache kahetare karaya shiksha. Ei mata. In this way. Yanra. Of whom? Gare. What does gare means? At home. At home. Kare. Does. Prabhu. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you. Bhiksha. Accepting. Prasadam. Oh, sorry. Accepting prasadam. Say. That man. Aiche. Similarly. Kahe. Says. Tandre. Unto him. Karoya. Does. A. This. Shiksha. Enlightenment. Translation. At whosever house Sri Chaitanya accepted his alms by taking prasadam, he would convert the dwellers to his Sankirtan movement and advise them, just as he advised the Brahmana named Kurma. Purport. The cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explained here very nicely. One who surrenders to him and is ready to follow him with his heart and soul does not need to change his location, nor is it necessary for one to change his status. One may remain a householder, a medical practitioner, an engineer, and whatever. It does not matter. One only has to follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and instruct relatives and friends in teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. One has to learn humility and meekness at home, following the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in this way one's life will be spiritually successful. One should not try to be an artificially advanced devotee, thinking, I am a first-class devotee. Such thinking should be avoided. It is best not to accept any disciples. One has to become purified at home by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and preaching the principles enunciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus one can become a spiritual master and be free from the contaminations of material life. There are many Sahajiyas who declare the activities of the six Goswamis, Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana, Raghunatha Dasa, Bhatta Raghunatha, Jiva, and Gopal Bhatta Goswamis, who are the personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who enlightened society by writing books on devotional service. Similarly, Narottam Das Thakur and the other great acharyas, like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and other, accepted many thousands of disciples to induce them to render devotional service. However, there is a class of Sahajiyas who think that their activities are opposed to the principles of devotional service. Indeed, they consider such activities simply another phase of materialism. Thus, opposing the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they commit offenses to his lotus feet. They should better consider his instructions, and instead of seeking to be considered humble and meek, should render from. They should better consider his instructions, and instead of seeking to be considered humble and meek, should refrain from criticizing the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who engage in preaching. To protect his preachers, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given much clear advice in these verses on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Salvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sham Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna and welcome everyone. The aim of today's class is to increase appreciation for the purport of Srila Prabhupada. That's all. And to do that, so previously in this part, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took sannyas in January, February, and then he started his tour to South India. And at this part, previously he met Kurma Brahmana, and he instructed him to. The Brahmana received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at his home. He washed his feet. The whole family drank the Charanamrita. They offered him prasadam, and the family took the remnants of the prasadam and they ate. And after that, the Brahmana, by nature, he considers himself very. He was very meek, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes, he said that he is very, very fallen, staying at his home place, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opposed him and said that you're doing actually well, you're doing great. you should actually stay at home, you should chant Hare Krishna, and you should instruct your family members and relatives and others in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning Sahajiyas and other groups who consider the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis and other acharyas, to be actually opposing to the principles of devotional service. They consider inactivity to be devotional service. Meaning, if you stay at home, if you're writing books or if you are preaching, they consider that materialistic. And this is what Srila Prabhupada opposes in the purport, and he warns them and instructs them rather to be cautious to avoid offending devotees. Yes. And actually this is a very, very interesting topic, which comes, the very same topic comes in the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is a very, very deep discussion and very capturing discussion. But to get to the last question of Arjuna, I wish to divide I see all devotees here, and I wish to divide all the devotees in two groups, and let it be Prabhus versing Mataji's. And we are starting with question-answer session, and then the class will continue. All right, and here comes, and yes, and also one more thing, I do encourage you to raise your hand and to contribute. We are not here to judge or look down upon anyone. Even if you misplace the answer, it is all right. The courage is being applauded. So the questions are, what are the questions of Arjuna within Bhagavad Gita? Very difficult question. Does Arjuna puts up any questions in the first chapter? First chapter, observing the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is there. At the beginning he was confident and ready to fight, but then his insecurities came out when he faced Drona and Bhishma. Technically he does put up questions within that 5 arguments that he raises, like Kimno Rajyena Govinda, what is the use of all this kingdom when all our family and relatives are going to be killed? So in that sense, he puts up a question, and yeah. Other questions regarding sin also, he does ask that, oh look, the opposing army, why should we who know that quarreling with friends and relatives is sinful, why should we engage in such acts? Yes. All right, second chapter. Any questions by Arjuna in the second chapter? Second chapter. What is the second chapter called? Summary. Yes, it is called Sankhya Yoga, or content of Gita summarized. All right.
I'm going to say that 2.7 is like, it's not a question, but it's a request. Like, please tell me what's the best.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a question in that sense.
Yes, 2.7 is an essential verse. Yes. Yes, and before that, Arjuna actually puts up a question that Katam Bhishma Maham Sankhya. Sankhya means on the battlefield, and Katam, how can I counteract with Ishubi Pratyatyami? How can I counteract people who are senior to me, like Bhishma and Drona, who are pujarhav, who are worthy of my worship? Yes, so in that context, yeah. And also a small detour at the end of the second chapter, the symptoms of the enlightened person, the Stita Pragya. Stita means stable, grounded, and Pragya means a wise person. All right, third chapter. Any questions by Arjuna in the third chapter? There are 2 questions. So far it is 1-0 for Mataji's favor. Third chapter, Karma Yoga.
Ты хочешь вовлечь меня в ужасную войну?
Slowly.
Ты хочешь вовлечь меня в эту ужасную войну? И второй, какой путь меня приведет к истинному благу?
She said the first verse of the third chapter, yes, and Arjuna is putting up the question that how can you engage, why do you wish to engage me in this ghastly warfare when you think that renunciation, intelligence, the Jnana Yoga path is better than Karma Kanda? And later in the chapter, he also puts up the question that by what are we impelled to sinful activities? You know that one?
I think it's about last chapter.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's in the third chapter or fourth chapter.
Speaking about the fourth chapter, any questions in the fourth chapter? Imam Vivasvata Yoga, that the disciplic succession started from Krishna. Any question by Arjuna? There is one.
Like how come you could tell this to me? Like,
Exactly. Aparam bhavato janma. Para means superior and apara means inferior. Aparam bhavato, janma is birth, and param janma vivasvata. Vivasvan is para, is superior by birth to you. How am I to understand that you instructed it? 204 Mataji's. Yes. Okay, chapter 5. Any questions by Arjuna, chapter 5? There is one at the beginning. Actually, it is 3-0 in favor of Mataji's.
Why?
Because she also said one. Yes, at chapter 5, Arjuna is asking the difference. What is better, devotional service or renunciation? Chapter 6, there is a question in chapter 6 by Arjuna. It is a slight detour. The mind is restless and turbulent, and then Krishna says, no, but it is still possible by practice and detachment. And then before that. Yes, that one is from the 6th chapter, and it is very close to after it. Something about the yogi. It isn't a question. No points.
If the yogi is not so successful.
Exactly. We speak so much about success, but what about those who are not successful? What about those whose minds deviate? 3-1. Good. Good. Chapter 7, there is no, only Krishna is speaking, chapter 7. Chapter 8, three one.
Is he asking about what is auspicious time to leave the body?
Krishna. This chapter talks a lot about that and how yogis and devotees use this knowledge, Akshara Brahma Yoga, to attain the Supreme. It is something that he answers, but no. Though it is very, very common. This chapter talks a lot about death. Why? About dying. Why? Why is Krishna talking about dying? Because Arjuna is asking a question regarding that. You tell me, how should I count this one? 3-2 or 3-1.5? Moment smriti is at the time of death. How can those in devotional service remember you at the time of death? So at the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna asks, what is Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, what is Adibhuta, Adidaiva, Adiyagya, who is the Lord of Sacrifice? And then the most important question, how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Chapter 9, only Krishna is talking. Chapter 10, It is a difficult one. Just before Krishna starts to talk about his opulences, something triggers Krishna to talk about his opulences. The Gita got revealed to Arjuna, the Chaturshloki Gita, and Arjuna is saying, Param Brahma, Param Bhava, you're the Supreme, I accept everything, even Asita Deva, Lavyasa. They also confirm, and now I myself understand it all. And then he makes a request. And then Krishna starts talking about his opulences. I'll count both. It is 4-2. He's asking, Katam Vidyam, how am I to remember? Katam Vidyam Aham Yogims, Tvam Sada Parichintayan. Chintayan is to remember. How am I to remember you? How should I constantly be thinking of you? And in what various forms am I to be remembering you? And then Krishna goes on. Yeah, he names 81 qualities, 81 opulences. A difficult one, chapter 11, the universal form. Arjuna is going through the roller coaster of emotions. And he puts up a question. It is a bit hidden one, but he does put up a question. At the beginning he is awe-inspired and he offers prayers, and then the Kala Rupa begins, everything starts to move and he becomes very fearful. It is a request, yes, it is 51, 52. At the end, it is a request before that. When he is feeling fearful, he asks directly the universal form. He asks him something. In Simhachalam, have you done the watch where you wrote Kalosmi? You? Yeah. So Gokula Ranjana Prabhu, he did a big watch and he wrote Kalo Asmi. Asmi, I am, Kalo, time. And just the verse before that, Arjuna is asking something, Krishna. Okay. He's saying, Akya Himeko, Bhavan Ugra Rupa, this Ugra, this terrible form. He's asking, who are you and who tells this gets a point? Who are you and what? He says, time I am. Who are you? Time I am. And what is your... What is that? To destroy the worlds. And then he shows that Bhishma, Drona, everybody who insulted Draupadi are all already killed, and asked Arjuna to be Savyasachi, to use his skills without pride. What is your mission? Who are you and what is your mission? Okay, nobody's getting a point now. Chapter 12, there is one question by Arjuna at the beginning.
Should we meditate on the...
She was faster. She was faster.
Is it better to meditate on you as a person or as on a personal part of you?
You are nailing it, Mataji. You are really nailing it. Yes. Evam satata yukta ye bhaktas tvam paryupasate, means the devotees, the bhaktas who paryupasate, who properly worship you. Ye tva aksharam, or those who worship the impersonal. Oof, how much is it? 5-2. 5-2? Very close. Okay, chapter 13, there is a question at the beginning.
What's the difference between nature, enjoyer, and...
Yes, yes. Okay, it is getting hot now. It is 5-3. Yes. Prakritim purusham chaiva kshetra kshetrajnam evacha. Yes, what is prakriti, what is purusha, kshetra kshetrajna, what is jnanam and gneyam. And the rest of the chapter goes explaining this one. Chapter 14, there is a hidden question, somewhere by the end. Chapter 14, 3 modes of material nature. Krishna explains how the 3 modes came into being and the effects that it have on the living entity, the competition of the 3 modes, and then Arjuna asks something at the end. And the answer to that is, the answer to the last question is, engage in devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances. This is the way to something. Speak about 3 modes. Yes. Okay, it was very close. It was very close. Okay, a bonus question. Arjuna is asking 2 more questions next to this one. This is the last one. Whoever gives a hint gets a full point. So he's asking how to overcome the 3 modes.
Krishna says Brahma Nipatishta, that is the basis.
Yes, that's the last one. Yes. You get the point. Yes. 5-4. Yes. So Arjuna is asking Kair Lingais, what are the symptoms, lingas, symptoms, and Kim Achara, and what is the behavior of a person, what are the symptoms of the person who has transcended the 3 modes, and how does he behave himself? And at the end, Ativartate, how to overcome it. Chapter 15, no question. Only Krishna is talking. Chapter 16.
We got our joker, we need to explain.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No joker.
No joke. Chapter 16, also only Krishna is talking. Chapter 17, a very good question at the beginning by Arjuna. It is 5-4. 5-4?
Faith in the 3 modes.
Cool. Yes, yes.
So,
I wish also to hear from you. I see you think so deeply and you are so close. Every time she's so close to say it, but she never does. The faith in 3 modes. Previously, chapter 16 was straightforward, like Krishna describes 26 qualities that belong to divine people, and then the 6 qualities that belong to demoniac people: pride, arrogance, conceit, harshness, ignorance, and anger. Yes, and then he gives the insights of what is the philosophy of demoniac people, what are they doing, how they secure money, what are their thoughts upon securing money, and ultimately what is their destination, the 3 gates of hell. And then at the end, Krishna says that it isn't always so black and white, that those with good qualities are divine, with bad qualities are demons, because we have cases where you see demigods exhibiting demoniac qualities, pride, arrogance, conceit, like, not to offend, many examples, like Indra, for example. And we see also vigor, fortitude, forgiveness. We see these qualities in demons also. And then the cutting border is the demigods never give up on the scriptures. Tasmat Shastram, the Shastras, they keep it as a praman. They keep it very close to their heart as an evidence. So Krishna makes a cut corner that even if the demigods sometimes exhibit demoniac qualities, their adherence, their loyalty to the Shastras is very, very, very strong and unshakable. Whereas the demons, even though they might exhibit good qualities, they won't accept the authority of the Shastras. And now comes Arjuna's question.
what about those who don't believe in?
Yes, 5-5. Is it 5-5? Is it? Is it 5-5? Yes? Good. I tend to give extra points to Prabhu somehow. Yes. So Arjuna's question is, Yashastra vidim shastras, vidim utstrija means given up, renounce. Yajante shtradayanvita, but they worship with faith. Tesham nishta is the faith to ka Krishna. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Gauranga ki jai. So Arjuna understood the 16th chapter. It is straightforward, those who follow the scriptures and those who don't. But now, are all those people who don't follow the scriptures, are all those people demons? What about those who don't have access to the scriptures? Or what about those who follow other sets of scripture? What is their fate? Okay, I'm very happy that it is 5-5 because the last question that Arjuna is asking is at the beginning of 18th chapter.
Difference between sannyas
And
Yeah.
no way. 6-5 for Prabhus. No way. You took it over. Yes. You knew this one? Okay.
What a bet.
Couldn't get any better than this. Yes. So Arjuna is asking Sanyasasya Mahabaho Tattvam, the truth, Ichchami Veditum. Ichchami, I wish Veditum to know what is sannyasa, and Tyagasya cha Hrishikesha, Hrishikesha, and what is Tyaga? Pritakesha Nishudana. Yes. And this, Arjuna is putting up questions throughout the Gita, and it is building up. And what are the answer is the history, and it is the Gita. But the last question is relevant to today's verse and to today's purport. Because there is a group of people who say that giving up all activities is the perfection, whereas others say that maintaining sacrifice, austerity, and charity should be kept. And from where this question comes is because when we speak about faith, when we speak about the 17th chapter, Krishna purely speaks about the conduct. How does the person conduct himself? What is the food that he is eating? And describing food in goodness, passion, ignorance. Is he performing austerities? Is it in goodness, passion, or ignorance? Austerities of the body, mind, austerities of the body, speech, and mind are described. And before that, the sacrifices. Is the person performing sacrifices? With what motive is the person performing sacrifices? So sacrifices in 3 modes are described. And lastly, the charity within 3 modes are also described. And now comes this 18th chapter, and the very relevant part, relevant topic, is that some sages look at the 17th chapter and they say, a person is doing sacrifices, austerities, and charities. You look through the lens of person's conduct, and based on the person's conduct, you judge his fate to be in goodness, passion, or ignorance. Not Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, but is it goodness, passion, or ignorance? And one group of sages, they say, before that, sannyasa, what is the difference between sannyasa and tyaga? What is sannyasa, as per the 18th chapter? Okay, bonus questions.
Renouncing the fruits. I mean, renouncing the desire, the internal motivation to enjoy.
And what is tyaga?
Is to renounce just the fruits. Right?
And what is sannyasa?
The desire, you give up the desire to.
For the fruits, and tyaga is giving up
Just the fruits.
the fruits.
But you keep the desire to enjoy.
Very close. Actually, sannyasa, as per the 18th chapter, is giving up the activities itself. You do nothing. You don't write books. You don't preach. You renounce everything. And tyaga is renouncing the fruits of the activities. And karmanam, kamyanam karmanam nyasam, sannyasam kavayo viduhu, giving up the karma itself, is called sannyasa. And the phala, the fruit of the work, giving up the fruit of the work, is called tyaga. And here comes the problem. Some people look at the 17th chapter and say that yes, based on the person's conduct, based on the person's sacrifice, charity, and austerity, his fate is in goodness, passion, and ignorance. And one sages say, therefore give up everything. Because whether it is goodness, whether it is passion or ignorance, it is still material, so give it up, do sannyas. Whereas others say that acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity should be maintained, and you should give up the desire for the fruits only. And then Krishna tells his final opinion, that yagya dana tapa karma na tyajyam that the sacrifice, austerity, and charity and the work itself should never be given up. In fact, sacrifice, austerity, and charity purify even the great soul. Because if you look at the 17th chapter and discuss sacrifice, austerity, and charity, it is very troublesome. So much things to be doing. And then it is so difficult, so the easiest thing is just to give them up also, out of complacency. But if you see, even within our society, even sannyasis are doing charity. They give knowledge, they give their time, they give something. Srila Prabhupada did such a great sacrifice in writing the books, so we don't refrain from sacrifice, austerity, and charity, and this is a big difference. And then Krishna concludes that etany apitu karmani sangam tyaktva, that you can have your sannyas internally, within your heart, you'll be detached, but from outside you maintain acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity. And this is where these sahajiyas step in, and they say that, and they criticize Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the followers of Mahaprabhu for writing books, or others, my other groups might criticize devotees for being so active. If they are spiritual, why don't you just renounce all of them? And do you know what is Krishna's answer to this? One group is saying that tyajyam dosha, dosha means a fault, tyajyam dosha vadityeke, that all of it should be given up as material. Whether it is goodness, passion, ignorance, it is still material. And others say, no, it should be maintained. If you know this answer, like you really understood you wind up your understanding of the Gita. If you know the answer that Krishna gives.
Every activity is covered by fault.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you still do it, because
You still do it if it is covered by fault.
yeah, you still do your duty.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of the day, Sarvadam Kripija, you just surrender to me, because that's the only way how you can transcend this
Mm-hmm.
world.
Very, very, very close. Specifically to this answer, to those people, the problem is with those people who say that activities should be given up. I don't know if you ever found yourself in a place in your life when you wanted to give up everything and just disappear. Like, how many of you wanted to go to the forest and live in the mountains? At any part of your life? Yes. That's why so much trouble. Yes. And essentially this is the life question. This is the crucial point. And the problem seems to be with those people who say, look at the 17th chapter, it is so troublesome, give all of that up in order to be spiritual. And Krishna answers that the giving up of sacrifice, charity, and austerity is within three modes. So if you simply give up, if you think that sacrifice, austerity, and charity are material, and you give them up, you don't solve anything, because the giving up of sacrifice, charity, and austerity can be within three modes. Giving them up out of illusion is ignorance, giving them up out of fear for bodily discomfort, or because they are troublesome is in the mode of passion. And renouncing sacrifice. Okay, who answered this one? Vince. What is renunciation? What is renouncing sacrifice, austerity, and charity in the mode of goodness?
To be attached to perform one's duty.
Very, very close, yes?
Giving up the fruits.
Giving up the fruits. Okay, it is 75% on this side.
Doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing.
According to Shastra.
You had 30% to get this one right, because in almost all of the three modes, adhering to the Shastras in the mode of goodness. Yes, so karyam ityeva yat karma, doing things because it's ought to be done, because it is the right thing to be doing, and without attachment to the fruits. Renouncing sacrifice, charity, and austerity in the mode of goodness means you perform them without attachment. And that's Krishna's answer to giving up. And yeah, that's a very profound answer. That's all what I had for today. Are there any questions or comments?
So what was like the last before that, the question before that? That you were saying this is Krishna's answer? Before we were speaking about it, we didn't really answer that. No, you were saying this is really to wrap up this understanding of Gita. This is that point.
This is the point. Yes, this is the point. That renunciation itself, on the question between Tyaga and Sannyasa, renouncing the activities itself, is that better, or renouncing the attachment to the activities, is that one better? Krishna concludes that doing your duties it should be done. Performing sacrifice, austerity, and charity, it can purify even the great souls. And then he says that internally you have your sannyasa, but externally you keep engaging. And then the answer is that the giving up of sacrifice, charity, and austerity is within three modes. So simply by renouncing sacrifice, austerity, and charity, you are still within three modes. It's not enough. It's not enough. You have to perform them because it purifies you. Purifies you.
Sannyasa, so far I've heard, is also from Sanskrit. You put the things on the right spot. This is sannyasa, it's not giving up. Sannyasa.
Samman?
You put the things on, Gauranga Gunarnava Dasa said, from Sanskrit on, it's, you put the things on the right spot. This is sannyasa. You know what to do with what. You know, Prabhupada, he knew his disciple had some problem, so he married them, you know, because it's proper. You know.
It is proper, yes.
And in the West, girls and boys, they live together, so according to cultural circumstances, he just arranged it. So. It is all the time a problem. Giving up things because it's troublesome. Now you have to do because it's your duty.
Yeah. In fact, to support your statement, yes. In fact, when in the verse, this is 18:7, when giving up sacrifice, austerity, and charity in ignorance, Prabhupada in the purport, he says the very same thing, that the sannyasis, they are actually forbidden to perform marriage sacrifice. But if that marriage is going to help their disciple advance in Krishna consciousness, and if he is not doing it, then he is renouncing in a mode of ignorance. In the same way, the other one is that the sannyasi is forbidden to cook. But if the sannyasi is not cooking for Krishna, if somebody offers you the service to cook for Krishna and you're a sannyasi and you say no, it is renouncing in a mode of ignorance. Yeah.
And Prabhupada made also the jokes, you know, that his disciple, you know, they're Paramahamsas, they're Hamsas, they're going somewhere preaching, they can do more than the sannyasis did, like in Gaudiya and other, you know, because they're just in renouncing and reluctant to do things, you know.
Yeah. They are bhajananandis and if you're in a preaching movement. Yeah.
If something is dirty, you think, oh, I'm a Brahmin, I cannot touch the dirty things. No, you have to clean. That's clean.
Exactly.
How many questions of Archer and Bhagavad Gita?
Actually, I haven't counted. But like main ones that define the flow would be, you have more questions within one group, so it would be within those 5 reasons not to fight, there would be a defining questions. Question of the 3rd chapter is also a strong question where Krishna sees that he misunderstands disengagement for detachment. Chapter 4, no. Chapter 5 is a relevant one. chapter 6 is also a detour. 7, nothing. 8, yes. 9, nothing. 10, nothing. 11, also no. 12 is a defining one. 17 and 18, so these seven strong questions that define the flow of the Gita. Okay, so today we heard how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he traveled to South India, he met the Kurma Brahmana and he instructed him to stay at home, and Prabhupada raises a disagreement with a group of people within the purport for those who say that all the preaching activities, writing, should be given up, and they consider that material, and to appreciate the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, we went through all the questions of Arjuna throughout the Gita. It was a very, very close. At the beginning I thought the Matajis will win. It was 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-1, 4-2. Yes, we ended up with 6-5. Yeah, really well done. Congratulations to you. Yes, and we concluded that acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity should never be given up, even if it is troublesome. Yeah. And it is with keeping of Srila Prabhupada's instruction and instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should thank you all very much for your kind attention. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitya Gaur Premananda.
Hansen sogar inne, an Äpplet und so.
Nein, eben nicht. Also, aber er ist schon am Flughafen gewesen und hat schon auf dem Weg, oder?
Aber er hat es nicht gewusst.
Nein, er ist nicht gecheckt. Es ist schon ein paar Tage, weißt du?
Aber haben Sie den abgelesen?
Ja, ja, schon.
Und er hat schon ein Ticket gehabt, oder hat er
Ja, ja.
Rollround-Ticket?
So weiß ich nicht, oder? Ich bin jetzt am Flughafen gewesen und jetzt erst denkt man, jetzt mehr Stück. Ja, genau.
Das war die Fragen von Arjuna.
Aber das ist eigentlich mit den 4, 5 angekommen und so. Ich habe gewusst, dass da ein Battle geht und so.
Yes, but that's bigger.
Yeah, so our temple is right now this big. We're making it 3 times bigger.
3 times bigger. How do you make it bigger?
Still
Building. How do you?
No, this one will become Roman. The existing one.
The whole land belongs.
Huge.
In the city.
This
Or is it
for
outside?
5 minutes from city.
How many? You just can build more.
It's a heritage building. Government. It's heritage building. Government will decide. They have to approve any changes.
Yeah, sure. Here also we have the regulations, how tall, that sort of
Yes.
stuff.
No, but because heritage building, even if you change heritage building,
This is Denkmalschutz. Denkmalschutz. Heritage.
you can't change it.
Heritage means so I don't like to your son you give some heritage. It's called. Yeah, we have this also. There are some buildings here in the city you cannot